One of the most delightful and thematically resonant threads woven throughout this episode of One Day at a Time is Ginny's heroic yet hilariously misguided crusade against her nicotine addiction, a subplot that provides consistent, comic relief while cleverly mirroring the larger struggles with habit, dependency and personal transformation faced by the central characters. In the 1970s, when public awareness of smoking's health risks was rapidly growing, fueled by Surgeon General warnings, anti-tobacco campaigns and a cultural shift toward wellness, Ginny's battle becomes a microcosm of the era's collective attempt to break free from old vices and embrace new, sometimes equally consuming behaviors. The subplot opens early in the episode with Ginny already deep in the throes of withdrawal, clutching her coffee cup with the desperation of a shipwreck survivor holding onto driftwood. The script captures her state with vivid physical comedy. She has not been able to put the cup down for 3 days and her hands tremble with the urge for a cigarette. Schneider, ever the enthusiastic, if clumsy supporter, steps in as her self-appointed coach. His well-meaning interventions, dumping out her coffee, offering distraction techniques and delivering pep talks, generate some of the episode's purest laughs. When he dramatically pours out the coffee pot, declaring that the only way to break a bad habit is to stop cold turkey, Ginny's horrified reaction is priceless, highlighting the absurdity of substitution as a coping mechanism. What makes this storyline so effective is how the writers use Ginny's caffeine overload not merely as slapstick but as a sophisticated running gag that parallels Anne Romano's professional and emotional journey. Just as Anne must navigate the sudden loss of her promotion and confront deeply ingrained societal expectations about motherhood and work, Ginny is attempting to sever her attachment to cigarettes by replacing it with another stimulant. The script excels at showing the cyclical nature of addiction and substitution. Ginny reaches for coffee when the urge to smoke hits, then faces new problems from excessive caffeine, leading to jitteriness, irritability, and even more desperate measures. Her admission that she went to church just to smell the burning candles is a brilliant throwaway line that perfectly encapsulates the desperate humor of withdrawal. Schneider's involvement adds another layer of comedic brilliance. As the building superintendent with his ever-present tool belt and folksy charm, he embodies the 1970s archetype of the well-intentioned but overbearing neighbor. His attempts to help Ginny distract herself by suggesting she replace the desire for coffee with the desire for a cigarette, only to immediately realize the flaw in his logic, create a wonderfully absurd loop. The moment he catches her trying to steal cigarettes from his sleeve and demands she hand them over showcases the playful antagonism and underlying affection between the characters. Ginny's retort, wishing that his tool belt would rot off, is delivered with perfect timing, blending frustration with flirtatious banter that hints at the subtle romantic tension often present in their interactions. Throughout the episode, Ginny's caffeine crusade intersects with the main plot in organic and meaningful ways. While Anne deals with the crushing disappointment of workplace sexism, Ginny's struggles provide a lighter counterpoint that prevents the drama from becoming too heavy. Yet the script never treats the subplot as mere filler. There is genuine pathos beneath the laughs. Ginny's 3-day ordeal, her screaming at her goldfish for making too much noise, and her poignant vulnerability when she begs the girls for a hidden pack of cigarettes reveal the human cost of trying to change long-standing habits. In the context of 1970s America, where smoking was still ubiquitous in homes, offices, and social settings, Ginny's story reflected a broader cultural moment. Millions were attempting to quit, often turning to coffee gum or other substitutes. Just as society itself was transitioning from the freewheeling counterculture of the late 60s to a more health-conscious, self-improving ethos. The writing shines in its attention to small behavioral details. Ginny's rapid consumption of multiple cups of coffee, her mentholated taste complaints when she accidentally drinks from the wrong cup, and her increasingly frazzled demeanor are rendered with observational precision. These moments allow the audience to laugh with recognition, while appreciating the deeper commentary on dependency. Barbara and Julie's gentle teasing, combined with their underlying support, further enriches the family dynamic. Even Schneider's over-the-top solutions, such as his transcontinental meditation suggestion, serve to highlight the era's fascination with alternative self-help methods and Eastern-inspired relaxation techniques that were gaining popularity in mainstream American culture. As the episode progresses, Ginny's arc continues to provide rhythmic comic beats that punctuate the more serious developments in Anne's career crisis and the unfolding family drama. Her presence in the living room scenes grounds the story in the everyday realities of apartment living where neighbors become surrogate family members. The chemistry between the performers, as implied through the sharp overlapping dialogue, is electric. Rapid exchanges, interruptions, and physical comedy beats create a lively ensemble energy that is the hallmark of One Day at a Time at its best. Thematically, Ginny's caffeine crusade ties beautifully into the episode's exploration of personal agency and the difficulty of breaking free from limiting patterns. Just as Anne refuses to accept Connor's limiting definition of her, as merely a mother rather than a capable professional, Ginny is fighting to redefine herself beyond her addiction. Both women are engaged in acts of self-liberation, albeit on different scales. The script uses this parallel, subtly but effectively, suggesting that the journey toward independence, whether from cigarettes, sexist bosses, or traditional roles, is rarely linear, and often involves uncomfortable substitutions and setbacks. Historical context deepens our appreciation of this subplot. The 1970s marked a turning point in public health awareness regarding tobacco. The landmark 1964 Surgeon General's report had already shifted opinions, but it was in the 70s that anti-smoking sentiment gained real cultural traction with advertising restrictions and growing social stigma. Ginny's struggle thus becomes a relatable entry point for viewers who were themselves wrestling with similar issues. The comedy never mocks her efforts but rather celebrates the messy humanity of trying to improve oneself, aligning perfectly with the show's warm, empathetic worldview. Furthermore, the Ginny storyline allows for wonderful character moments that reveal personality traits. Schneider's mix of machismo and sensitivity, Anne's patient encouragement, even amid her own troubles, and the daughter's youthful perspective all come through in these interactions. The episode's dialogue is particularly sharp, here full of quick comebacks, malapropisms, and overlapping speech patterns that mimic real family and neighborly conversations. Lines like Ginny's declaration that she is adding on coffee, or Schneider's earnest, but misguided advice showcase the writer's gift for turning everyday language into comedy gold. As we move deeper into the narrative, Ginny's presence continues to humanize the more intense scenes involving the Butterfield family crisis and Anne's business trip preparations. Her ongoing battle serves as a reminder that life's challenges rarely occur in isolation. While one character faces professional discrimination, another battles a personal addiction, and teenagers navigate first heartbreaks. This interconnectedness is one of the episode's greatest strengths, creating a rich tapestry of human experience within the confines of a single apartment building. In reflecting on this subplot, one cannot help but admire how the writers transformed what could have been a throwaway gag into a sustained source of humor and insight. Ginny's caffeine crusade is funny because it is so recognizably human, filled with the same contradictions, backsliding, and small victories that define real personal growth. It provides essential breathing room in an episode that tackles weighty topics like sexism, divorce, and marital dissatisfaction, ensuring the overall tone remains balanced and engaging. The comedy of substitution reaches its peak in moments where Ginny's withdrawal symptoms lead to increasingly absurd behavior, yet the script always circles back to affection and support. By the time Anne is preparing for her sudden trip to Chicago, Ginny's presence continues to add warmth and levity, reinforcing the show's message that community and chosen family are vital resources in times of change. Her arc, though lighter than Anne's, contributes meaningfully to the episode's celebration of resilience and the small daily battles that build character. This thread exemplifies why One Day at a Time succeeded so brilliantly as a 1970s sitcom. It found humor in the struggles of ordinary people, trying to better themselves while embedding gentle social commentary about health, gender roles, and personal responsibility. Ginny's journey, with all its jittery energy and comic desperation, remains one of the episode's most endearing elements, reminding us that even in the midst of major life crises, the small, everyday battles for self-control deserve their share of laughter and compassion.